What's up, guys? Hey guys. So I wanted to share with you guys that in the what past year and a half, I've been working on my business, and I actually decided to share a little bit with you guys. What is it? What is it like? I want to actually use this time to kind of go over and share with you guys of what has Rogers been doing the past year and a half that we don't really hear much from here on this blog and for the Latino Vegano. So I'm going to use Latino Vegano now to kind of share with you guys some of the inside of the business, what to do. So actually, I'm literally inside the business. So I wanted to use that space so I can share with you guys a little bit of what is this that been going on, how's the business going, well, everything has started. I think it would be great if I start from the beginning, how the project started, because I'm getting a lot of questions based on that. And then from there, I can segue into like show you guys how the business is. But um, let me go ahead and do that first. Let me go ahead and share with you guys the some of the inside of the business, and then we can go ahead and talk about more of like some of the aspects, and you can guys can ask me questions as I go forward with it. So uh, I'm gonna ahead and start sharing that with you guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any specific questions for me, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, guys. So that was our intro, right? And the next thing, I want to talk to you guys about the last couple years. How it's been. So basically, about a year and a half, I embarked in this idea, in this project of opening my own business, right? And I always knew that it was going to be something related to vegan. As you guys know, I've been vegan for more than 20 plus years. I turned vegan in 2002, and I moved to the US in 2005. And so I started being vegan when I was living in Panama. And then when I came to the US, veganism kind of took off for me because I was able to see a variety of products and food and whatnot and see the lifestyle from a different perspective. Not only that, but I was also able to meet a lot of more vegans and whatnot. But anyway, so that's a little bit of what that story you guys to know. There's a lot of information about my journey from a vegan perspective in previous episodes of my podcast that I highly suggest you guys to check. But what I want to talk about is basically um, this whole journey. The past year and a half, I embarked in this business, and for so many of you know, I have a background in IT. So that's my background. So I have my background in IT allows me to work in different sections of what we call IT. But I'm sure you're asking what IT has to do with um with basically a business, and not only that, but what I have to do is that when working in IT, it allows me to work in different type of roles. So I work from like basic roles to management roles, senior roles, and a role is specifically called analyst, right? So when you become an analyst, basically what you do is you look at processes and then you see how can you improve them. So now having management process and data and system allows you to kind of utilize those skill set to anything that you do in life, including your personal life to some extent. So I tell you all this, guys, because I've been wanting to open a food truck for many years. I don't know if I ever shared with you guys an experience that I had, which somebody reached out to me. It was in the vegan community, and then this specific person wanted to open a food truck, and they reached out to me so we can partner up and we can combine efforts so we can go ahead and promote and open up this business. And to me, it was a very fascinating idea because at that specific point of my life, I really wanted to focus on what was my next business venture. I already incursionated in e-commerce, and I was also doing real estate. And I wanted to also do something else besides that, and I wanted to have some kind of physical, tangible product. And I knew it was have to be something related to vegan, and specifically with the food because my recipes in my culinary expertise were kind of becoming even greater and greater and greater with time. So with that said, this idea to me was like great. Like, it was like amazing. I get to work on the business side, which I have all the skills that I already mentioned from the IT perspective. And then now I can combine those with somebody that has experience by cooking and being a chef previously and all that. So I said, this is going to be an amazing partnership. So long story short, guys, the deal never completed. So we also not being able to finalize that. I was a bit disappointed because I was really looking forward to that next thing. So I put myself a goal that at some point I'm going to open my own business. I'm going to open my own food truck. If I share with you guys my vision board back in 2021, around the pandemic, I put up a vision board, and in the vision board I have a picture of a food truck, and I included it in the picture that is going to be my own business. So, long story short is that in last year in 2024, I decided I was going to open my own business, right? My own food truck, and the decision came from a long journey experience, working to different avenues to try to open the business that I have in mind, and which I already explained in several other episodes of my podcast. And then, but at the end of the day, um, the decision came. I decided to open an ice cream truck, right? Which is gonna probably be the first time that you're gonna actually have an ice cream truck, which is actually making the ice cream in the same truck. So as you guys see, I'm actually inside the trailer or inside the truck. It's actually a food trailer, not a truck. He's want to be very political about it. But anyway, I know the term food truck is more popular, more familiar with than food trailer. But anyway, so the decision came that way. So my inspiration was I already had this vision from previous years. So this whole venture happened, this whole idea of concept initially happened. I want to say that was 2015, 2014, that I was going back and forth with this person about opening this business. So it took us about, I don't know, 6, 7 years for me to kind of like finalize the detail. And, and anyway, the whole concept started it. I wanted to open an ice cream truck. It was initially going to be me selling popsicles, and all started it because I was actually prepping for a show. Because most of you know that I'm a professional bodybuilder, and I was prepping for a show, and I wanted to get some kind of treat. Plus my partner at the time, which now is my wife, um, she is lactose intolerant. So I was trying to find a way that I can manage to have treats that we can have, healthier treats, per example, specifically in that same line of ice cream and popsicles and stuff like that, that I can have to be able to manage any between my dietary choices or my diet or my specific diet for the competition at that time. So that's kind of like how the main concept started it. And the second thing that triggered that was my favorite ice cream place in Austin, which is called Sweet Ritual, closed. So I did a trip to Austin and I noticed that the place closed. So I was so disappointed because it brought me so many memories, especially a memory where I went with Robert Sheik. I mentioned Robert in this because he was the one that first introduced me to this place in Austin. So that's how the first time I met this place was through Robert. And with that said, I realized that the place cool. So I reached out to the owners and they say, well, we close the business. Now we are doing consulting and all these different things, right? Great. So the consultant part. And then also I realized that, okay, well, there might be an opportunity here because I had this many messages or many scenarios that are saying, hey, if you it, you need to focus on this. So there's something here, right? There's an opportunity here. So that's what I decided to do. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna open my own business. I'm gonna open an ice cream truck, and I'm gonna set it up here in the Houston area, Houston surrounding area, and we're gonna expand and grow this thing to be a worldwide thing, right? And this is our goal, to be a worldwide thing. And that's pretty much how I started it. So I started putting the business plan. I put everything together. But the difference this time is I was taking action. I will generate the concept, the idea. I was designing. So the way I do it, and we can talk about this in another episode, is that I will probably explain to you guys like all the step by step things that I did for people out there that are more interested in opening their own business, because you can apply for anything. Some of the things that I did, but just to give you a high level idea, I started working. I set up small, achievable goals. So that's something that I got from the IT perspective, right? I was working more of an agile. What does it mean agile? Is that instead of taking the entire project and try to complete it at once, you make small pieces of the project, and then everything that you complete in a period of time keep you closer to your end goal. So that's my approach. So let's say, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Let's say you wanna open an e-commerce store, right? You wanna open a store online, and then what you need to do? Come up with a name. You wanna create a logo. You wanna create a website. Then you gotta get the product. You gotta reach out to distributor. So even if you don't have no money to begin with, start making the things that you can do, even if you don't have the resources or the financial resources to, let's say, buy the domain or buy the products. You can start doing small things. Like for example, if you put yourself a goal to, okay, I'm gonna read or talk to 10 people that owns online stores, that's a goal. You can go ahead and do that, and you don't require any financial monetary, for example, to be able to accomplish that. You go ahead and call those same folks, you conversate with them, talk to them, and get some idea, take some notes. And then once you complete that, then you move to the next stage. Okay, now I'm gonna think about how to brainstorm ideas for names. And then you start creating small, achievable is the key, goals that can put you closest to your end goal. And by the time you realize, you'll have that project completed because you start making those small steps little by little. So now I took the same approach. Okay, well now let me come up with a name. Let's go ahead and think about names. Let's come on thing. Let's go online. Let's go online. Maybe use ChatGPT so you can come up with some names idea. Now let me come up with a logo. Okay, now I'm gonna create a logo. Okay, what the logo I use with the so on and so forth. Design. All these different things that you start doing it. So that was my main thing. Just trying to create small achievable goals to get me closer. Once all that was completed and I have enough to get the project going, then you go ahead and get the project going. I mean, either launching your website, even opening the store, even getting the funds, all those different things. And that's things going to happen for you. So that's what I did. I put myself small little achievable goals, and then I started doing them one by one. And then to reach to a point that I was ready. I found a supplier so I can start building the vehicle, the trailer, customize it, and they go from there. The rest is history. So that's how, in a high level, everything started for me, guys. And it was one of those experiences, right? That I literally want to tell you guys that it was a fun process, and it was an amazing process. And there's things that I can improve or do better, which definitely I know that I can. And it was not a perfect path, right? But it was a great path, and it's an important path. Being able to know and define and go through that process allows you to be successful in every way, right? So I was able to see the things that I could improve now, thinking, okay, well, I can do this better. I would have done this better. And I could talk about that too, and also more in other episodes. But I wanted to use this time of this episode just to talk to you guys about that, specifically how I started it, how everything was built for us to be able to have that business, how was the process, the concept, the way it came about, and then from there. So as I decided I was going to open the business, I find a location and we start operation. So that's a completely other different episode, right? Because now we're going to need to talk about how that worked, how that happened, how that came out with the recipes. That's also another aspect. But what I wanted to share with you guys initially was that idea was happening. I already planned it from years ago to have this thing, to have this concept happening. I put it to work. The time was down, and I decided to open. I launched this business solo with no business partner. I'm not saying that that's always the right way. There's no wrong or right way. You might have an idea that you might want to launch with a friend or with a business partner. The one thing that I said, there's a lot of benefits. There's pros and cons on both ways, right? So there's benefit of launching a business with a partner because you guys put idea together, put resources together. Maybe you guys complement each other. I think it's a great relationship that you can build, and then you can build a business that way. And then you share the wealth. It's excellent. Now, when you go solo, when you're a solo entrepreneur by yourself, and there's no business partner, you're pretty much doing everything, right? You're more control. You have more control of the business. Then you make the decisions. Everything relies on you. You succeed or you fail, it's all on you. But at the end of the day, a person that works solo knows that he or she requires a team to be able to grow that business 10 times X to another level. So you have to be able to know that as well. So you have to become more of a leader at that point. So that's one of the things that I will share with you guys when it comes down to it. So I'll be making videos that I'll be talking about different aspects of the business and how everything's play out. I'll try to make it a continuation and try to share different things. But what I want to be able to reach out to you guys is that I'm going to start using this to be able to document, talk, tell you guys everything that is going on as far as the business, all the insight, all the context, some of the stuff that I've been noticing. So things that you can learn. This is the stage of a life that I am now. And it's a great way to share that experience, share a lot of things with you guys, and use a platform that I always use to guys to share my personal stories, my personal life, from a vegan perspective. Now flipping now from a vegan, but now from an entrepreneur side perspective now, which is seeing things from a different perspective now from a different level. The great thing is that I never compromise my moral. So even though we're doing business, my business is 100% vegan. Vegan is from the owner all the way to every single product, which is even greater because now I get the opportunity to not only take my lifestyle from my personal standpoint, but also into the business world, right? When you are out there representing the movement, representing the lifestyle, representing everything that you all believe for, right? And doing it in the right way. So for me, that's always been the main thing. And I'm very grateful for the community. I'm very grateful for everybody that has supported the business. We have served thousands of people to this day, and we serve millions more people, and we're grateful for everyone. With this video and this message, if you local and you know me, I'm not necessarily I'm not trying to just create content so I can have you guys come to the business. What I want to do is, if you know anyone that will definitely benefit from our products, let them know. Let them know that we have a business out there. That's probably the best way that we can that we can get out there. Also, wear them out, which is great. Let's go viral, and then they know people that, hey, there's a business right there in Katy right now in Houston that is having amazing products, and not only that, but it comes from a great place too as well. So, all right, guys. All right, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll do another video. We'll talk a little bit more about some of this aspect of the business. I'll probably give you guys a show around later and explain to you guys some of the stuff that we got going on, how the business got situated. I think now you have I have an idea where the business concept came from, which is going to be my main topic here, where the business concept came from and why I decided to open this specific type of business. The business concept, like I mentioned, came from a long time day that I knew I was going to be a food truck, but the the part of making the ice cream truck was because my favorite place that closed, and then I decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna open my own ice cream shop. I'm really passionate about making ice cream and making products, being creative, and come up with all these different recipes. And I know in the food I could do it, and I knew in the dessert side I could do it. There was a need. There is a need for the kind of product that we offer, and then I decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna be the ones that's gonna help provide that, supply that need to the demand that we have currently. So we just need everybody's else support to be able to reach out to more people. And that's what happened. The idea is there, and now we just try to make the business even greater to create better quality product, better quality items, and reach out to more people longer and longer. So that was part of the first episode. And I'll go ahead and document more information for you guys in previous episodes. So stay tuned and see you guys in the next episode. All right, bye-bye.